Rishad Premji going to be fundamentally different from what it is going to be possibly 5 or 6 years down the road? Let's find out. Rishad, wonderful to have you here. The adoption of AI is now an inevitability. Broadly speaking, over the course of the last 1 year since we spoke last, what has Wipro done to introduce more AI systems and tech?
Look, first of all, with the advent of any technology, it creates opportunity, right? Because the technology in itself has limited bearing. The value of the technology is if you're able to put it to use in solving specific business problems, right? We've done a couple of things as a company over the last year. One is we've made AI all pervasive inside of Wipro, and we've done that by training people. You know, we've had 240,000, 235,000 people go through a Gen AI 101 starting with me. We have about 50,000 people who've gone through higher levels of actually skilling and certification on Gen AI technologies, but 5,000 people at the next level, 500 people at the highest level in the organization. So we're driving it all pervasively within the company to drive a very strong AI mindset, skill set, and tool set inside of the organization. There are three things we're driving. One is how do we operate better as a company? So how do we leverage this technology to disrupt ourselves? And we've implement this in all of our functions, whether it be HR, finance, legal, sales, skilling, recruitment, etc. And I'll give you a very simple example. You know, we sign 400-page master service agreements with our customers. We sign up for specific delivery commitments. We sign up for certain timelines. We sign up for fines when we don't deliver it. How many of our delivery managers are reading 400-page documents? It's unreasonable to expect them to do that. So sponsored by our chief legal officer, we're driving this now where we're leveraging the technology to actually distill that down into a few pages which can be consumable and very clearly actionable. So real strong application of the technology in functions across the company. That's one. So how do we operate better? Two is how do we deliver better? How do we do the work that we're doing inside of the organization more impactfully, faster, more autonomously, etc. And that's a big focus. And we're seeing a lot of impact on that in specifically fixed price projects. And then the last is how do we change the game? So how do we come up with very context-specific, domain-specific use cases for customers? So for example, we've built something called wealth.ai, which is a huge enabler for financial advisors in the financial services space. How can you get to understand your customer much better? How do you have a much better sort of knowledge of what to cross-sell and upsell? How do you serve them better? And that's showing results both in terms of efficiency for financial advisors, but also actually being able to cross-sell and upsell more. So that's, I think, everything that's happening at the moment. Operate better, manage better, deliver better, and change the game. The one thing that's becoming more and more exciting is obviously agentic AI. And how do you leverage that, again, to do things differently? The advantage of agentic AI is it's autonomous, it's highly specialized, right? It can self-heal, so it can self-learn, and it can call through APIs on other agents, other AI agents, as well as on humans. And so how can you drive very specific tasks more impactfully? So for example, we've built out a supply chain agent which can work with fleets, understand weather, temperature, location, blockages, etc., to redistribute a supply.
But that's an important point because there are cultural nuances. I mean, a customer sitting in Chennai would be very different from a customer in America. The business processes in America are very different from what it is over here.
Correct.
How important is it to develop technologies and AI for different clientele? I mean, is the technology smart enough to understand nuances? How important is data to that?
The technology exists. The ability of leveraging it to solve business case problems, real life problems, is where the magic is. And that's why services companies, I think, have a journey. To your point of how important is data? Data is essential. There is no AI without data. And the challenge with most large enterprises is they're complex. They're messy at times. They don't have modernized applications. They don't have data that's well structured, well architected. How do they leverage it completely to get the benefits? So those are things that customers are very much focused on. And so the opportunity to serve customers from a tech services perspective, Vishnu, all the way from getting them on the cloud, modernize, leveraging the data, organize data, right? Which models to use, how to train the models, which use cases to build, how to manage those use cases, I think presents tremendous opportunity. So the advantage is leverage the technology to solve a very specific problem.
I also wanted to speak to you briefly about large language models. The fact that, again, there is no one size fits all. Do you believe that India needs to do more in terms of mastering LLMs and offering that as options for our requirements, for our needs?
Look, I think we should be leveraging technologies like LLMs that are being built in other parts of the world. They're expensive to build, and I think the advantage for India is to leverage though the technology, so the inherent hardware as well as LLMs, to actually build out use cases that can solve problems for customers.
Sure.
Because I'm repeating myself, but the advantage of the technology is in solving business problems.
Sure. Skilling is the other issue. That's something we face as a national challenge. And there is, of course, so two parts of that question. The importance of skilling to use AI in the future and tech as it emerges. The other body is the time-honored question, where are the jobs? Will jobs disappear? How would you deal with these?
So skilling is important for both, right? Skilling is important to be able to have talent that's AI ready, to be able to deploy and leverage the technology. And two, skilling is also important to reskill people that jobs may be redundant or less relevant in an AI world.
Yeah.
And so the success and adoption in my mind of AI will be tightly coupled with the reskilling agenda we have as companies, we have as industry, and as a country, frankly. And so that has to go hand in hand, because the technology is far ahead of our ability to adopt it today. And so the only way this scales is if you drive the change, and the change management happens through people, and people will adopt and enable that change management if they feel secure about their own futures, and that's then tied to their skilling. So the reskilling and the AI agenda, in my mind, go hand in hand.
Wonderful speaking to you, Rishad Premji.
Great.
Appreciate it. Thank
Lovely
you very much.
seeing you. Take care.
So Rishad Premji speaking about AI. Our conversations over the years have changed quite a bit. We've spoken about sustainability in the past. That's, of course, critical as well, certainly to Wipro. But AI is so exciting. Where is it all headed? It's something we all need to adopt. Will it be fair? Will it be equitable? And will it be functional? These are key questions, which I suppose we'll get to know more about in the years ahead.